When you take the contraction and relaxation process, the skeletal muscles, they'll show faster contraction. See, that's why they are controlled under the brain. So when they get the signal, it contract or relax all the skeletal muscles. But when you take the smooth muscles, the muscles which are there in the stomach and intestine, their contraction and relaxation is somewhat slower. So why it is somewhat slower? Because there is no connectivity between the different myofibrils. Can you see the diagram? Each spindle cell is individually present. There is no connectivity between the cells. So in order to take away the contraction, it takes time for the smooth muscles to move. So that's why we call it as a slower contraction and relaxation process. This can be best explained by peristaltic movement of intestine. Small intestine. Writing in the small intestine. You take the food over here, the food passes very slowly through the small intestine and large intestine. How it passes is, if this is the food particle, it gets into here, part of small intestine, then it goes into here, then again here, like this it will go in a slower way, so that what are food particles which are there inside the bolus, that will be digested by the intestinal enzymes. So peristaltic movement almost resembles the earthworm movement. It's like earthworm, how it moves, you would have seen the movement of earthworm. So how it moves, one part of it bends first, then straightens, then again other part of it bends, then straightens. It will be like this, isn't it? So the same happens in intestine. That's called peristaltic movement. It will be very slower. The contraction of the smooth muscles is the reason. Okay. So why it is slower movement? In order to make the food particles to get digested. That's the concept over here. Okay. So whenever you find peristaltic movement, that is nothing but related to constriction and relaxation of smooth muscles in intestine. That's the statement. So in intestine, the food gets digested. For that purpose, the muscle tissue contractions and relaxations are slower. But when you come to the cardiac muscles, we call here the movement of muscle tissue is rhythmic. Rhythmic means what? Contraction starts in one point in hard muscle tissue. I'm just shading on the part, and it will be transferred, see, to the next part of the muscle. Okay. Then I'm shading on the muscle, cardiac muscle tissue. Just observe, I'm shading in blue. Then that contraction will be passed into the next part of the muscle tissue like this. So the muscle tissue contraction is not slow, not fast, but it's rhythmic. One gets contracted, then the contraction passes to next level. Then its contraction passes to the next muscle. Then its contraction will be passed to the next muscle. This is how the contraction passes in a wavy motion. So this is called rhythmic contraction of cardiac muscle. It's very important. Why? Because see, when you take the heart contraction relaxation, we call it as love the movement. The sound will absorb under the scope. So how that is happening? Love is the high frequency sound and dub is the low frequency sound. When you observe with stethoscope, it is happening because the muscles are not contracting at a time. Muscle contracts at one time and it will be carried to the next muscle. Then it will be carried to the next muscle. This is how cardiac muscle function. So how the cardiac muscles are functioning in rhythmic way? That's because of presence of some joining in between the cardiac muscles called intercalated discs. This word is very important. You won't find this disc in any other tissue. You will find only here in cardiac muscles. See the diagram? The diagram, the muscles are joined at some positions. Yes, can you observe that? So those joint positions are called intercalated discs. which will help in movement of the contraction from one muscle fiber to another muscle fiber to next one. Is called, okay, this is specific to only cardiac muscle. So when you go to write the functional aspect of different muscle tissue, you will find intercalated is only in cardiac muscles. You will not find in skeletal muscles, you will not find them in smooth muscles. In fact, okay.